What's up guys, it's Blackwing2040 and I'm back with another top 10 video for you guys, and it's gonna be another Spider-Man related top 10. And before I continue, I just want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers, Spider-Man MCU. I'm sorry I didn't give you like a mention from the last top 10 I made, top 10 Spider-Man villains. So this top 10 is for you, Spidey. So this top 10 will be my top 10 favorite alternate versions of Spider-Man. Now this list was very difficult to make because there are a lot of versions of Spider-Man, and I had to scavenge like through history to find which alternate versions of Spider-Man do I know and which ones can I put on this list. And there are a lot, like pretty much if you guys read Spider-Verse, I haven't read it yet, but I know what happens in it. And if you guys played the Spider-Man Unlimited tablet video game, then you know all the different alternate versions of Spider-Man. But let's get started, shall we? And give a like if you hear your favorite Spider-Man on this list. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is SpiderHam. The first time I came across this version of Spider-Man was in the end of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, or in the game itself, because I remember in the opening cutscene of the game where Madam Web first appears to Spider-Man telling him about the crisis that's happening, Spider-Man looks and it says, "Is that a cartoon pig? Focus." I'm like, cartoon pig? What is he talking about? And then at the very end of the video game, that final cutscene, SpiderHam shows up and says, "So, what I miss? Nuff said, kids. Nuff said." So it's a hilarious version of the character, seeing like, you know, it's Spider-Man yet in pig form. So it's hilarious to look at, yet pretty cool. So and plus I enjoyed seeing him in the Spider-Verse episode of Ultimate Spider-Man. It was so it was so hilarious to look at, because I think Spider-Ham is like the funniest, goofiest thing the creators could ever done with Spider-Man. I mean, who came up with the idea to make Spider-Man to have like a pig version of Spider-Man? That's just hilarious. Alright, so number 9 is Assassin Spider-Man. I came across this version of Spider-Man in Spider-Man Unlimited. Then I retraced my steps to look up some history about the character, and he's actually a pretty darn awesome character. I mean, he's pretty much an assassin. It's in his name, Assassin Spider-Man. He has wrist-mounted gauntlets. Pretty much is he like this. If he does like this with his hands and puts it in like a gun form, he kills someone right there on the spot. And plus, he was trained by Wolverine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, he was trained by Wolverine. So if you have someone that's trained by Wolverine and is Spider-Man, that's deadly right there. You know you are about to get killed. So I wouldn't suggest getting in a fight with this version of Spider-Man at all. Alright, so that was number 9. Number 8 is MangaVerse SpiderMan. Now, I came across this version of Spider-Man as a alternate skin in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and looked up some history on the character, and it's a pretty good creation. It's a really creative version of Spider-Man. Like, come on, Spider-Man in a manga? That's really awesome. And hence is in the name, MangaVerse Spider-Man. And so he's pretty much trained like, you know, like not a ninja if I would say, but if I am correct, like a ninja, by his Uncle Ben. And his Uncle Ben was, in this universe, his uncle was killed by the Goblin tribe, if I'm correct. And then from then on, he became the Spider-Man of the MangaVerse. And plus, it's just a beautiful design of the character. I really wish I could read if I could read MangaVerse Spider-Man, I will, because it looks pretty dope. I love the character design, and whoever came up with that idea is genius. Just genius. Alright, number 7, Superior Spider-Man. So pretty much everyone knows who Superior Spider-Man is. It's Doc Ock's mind in Peter's body. A dying Doc Ock puts his mind into Peter's body, and he decides to prove to Peter that he could be the Superior Spider-Man. But in the end, it doesn't turn out so well, because he also ruins Peter's life in the process. He ruins his relationship with Black Cat. Now Black Cat has a grudge against Spider-Man. She wants him dead. and pretty much Black Cat is pretty much turning into like the new Kingpin, if I should say. And he's been pretty much, Doc Ock has been a thorn in Spider-Man's side since the beginning. So for him to actually know that he's done wrong and to give Spider-Man his body back, that shows he really messed up really badly. And other than that, he had Peter create his own industry called Parker Industries. Like, you'd think Peter would have the mindset to own his own company? No, I don't think so. And plus, he develops a relationship with one of his employees named Anna Marie. But then, after Doc Ock left Peter's body, she noticed that Peter hasn't been acting himself lately. So, pretty much, Anna has been falling in love with Doc Ock in Peter's mind. But she didn't know that until Peter told her the real truth. But come on, it was a good design of the character. And it worked really, really well. It was really good. Alright, number 6 is Ben Reilly. I came across this version of the character as a... Alright, pretty much some of the characters I'm going to say here, I pretty much came across them as alternate skins in Spider-Man video games. The first time I came across Ben Reilly was in the Spider-Man 2000 video game, where it was... Which his first appearance of Ben Reilly looks so pretty awesome, by the way. I mean, a hoodie with a spider logo on it, and the costume, it is just beautiful. And I know, just to give a little history of Ben Reilly is actually a clone of Peter Parker, and for those who read the Clone Saga knows what happens. A villain named the Jackal created multiple clones of Peter Parker, and Ben Reilly actually took over Peter's place as the new Spider-Man. And then he got killed by the Green Goblin, and then Peter resumed the role of Spider-Man. But Ben Reilly did a really good job as Spider-Man. He did not play, he took the role seriously, and he actually lived up to Peter's potential. Hopefully, I wish he would come back. I wish he could come back, because, you know, like in comic books, not every character stays dead. Alright, number 5. Scarlet Spider, aka Kane, the first clone. Kane was the actually first official clone of Spider-Man created by the Jackal. When he first was created, his face was all disfigured, discombobulated, and messed up. And then sooner or later, he began to reconfigure himself, and then he started to call himself the Scarlet Spider. And I love that suit, by the way. That whole black and red with the red eyes. I just love that suit design. I came across that suit design as a alternate skin in the Amazing Spider-Man video game, and then I just fell in love with the suit immediately. So I do plan on reading the Scarlet Spider comic of Kane soon, because he's a really dope looking character, and come on, that suit looks awesome. Alright, number 4. I really had to put this character on this list. I know a lot of people would have been mad at me if I didn't put this character on this list, but it's my list, and be happy that I did put him on here. Number 4 is Miles Morales. Now, Miles Morales, I've kind of grown onto him, because when he first appeared, I really did not know what to expect about him. I mean, I didn't have any hatred toward the character. I didn't have any dislikes toward the character at all either. He was, of course, you know, the Ultimate Universe version of Spider-Man. After the Ultimate version of Peter Parker died, Miles became the new Spider-Man, and he's already lived up to the potential of Peter anyway. He's part of the Avengers now, he's part of the main Marvel Universe, which I'm happy about, and plus he had his first on-screen appearance in Ultimate Spider-Man. I wish he has a whole lot more, because Miles Morales is a really dope Spider-Man character, and I actually started reading his comic book series, his current one, and it is really, really good, by the way. I recommend that to any of you guys. Alright, number 3 is Spider-Man Noir. Of course, I first came across this character in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and I fell in love with the character immediately. I mean, it's a Spider-Man in the early 1920s during the Great Depression, and even though I know he doesn't have any he has web slinging abilities. I think with him he doesn't have any wall crawling abilities, but he's a really dope looking character. And plus he goes out in the night wearing a trench coat and a fedora. That's even better. That is so cool. That is just phenomenal. And plus I love the suit, I love the goggles. He's an awesome Spider-Man. Alright, number 2 is Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara. You're gonna find this really funny, actually. I first came across Spider-Man 2099 as an alternate skin in the Superhero Squad video game that I got for the DS. I didn't know what it was, and then when I saw like the character does like the suit, I was like, this Spider-Man actually looks pretty good. And then when Shattered Dimensions came out, I got used to the character because I really loved it. Plus, he's pretty much Marvel's equivalent to Batman Beyond. He has claws, he can glide around the city, he can web sling. And he's fast. He's really fast. And also, I also love his new suit that he has in the all new, all different Marvel universe. And it is just, he's a really dope character. And of course, he was in Ultimate Spider-Man in the SpiderVerse episode. I just wish Miguel O'Hara got a lot more love in things because he's a really great Spider-Man. Now, before I say my number 1 pick, let me say some honorable mentions, of course. Man Spider is, think of Spider-Man actually as a spider, like it's in his name, Man Spider. He's a spider monster who is also Spider-Man, but he's very uncontrollable. He can't really control himself. He is a monster. All right, next honorable mention, Spider-Man Reign. Think of this as the Dark Knight Returns version of Spider-Man. Spider-Man retired, and sooner or later after, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mary Jane dies of disease that was spreading, I think, when Peter was Spider-Man. And then after that, Peter decides to become Spider-Man again in an old age. So that's really actually creative, by the way, which is really, and I haven't read the comic, I just know of the history, but that is a really good idea that I've never really thought of would happen. Alright, next honorable mention, Zombie Spider-Man. I haven't read any of the Marvel Zombies comic books, but I know they're really popular. Plus, Zombie Spider-Man looks freaking awesome. Plus, zombies are awesome. I love zombies. Zombies, they're undead. You can do anything to them. Like, you try to chop them up, they still come back to life. Plus, they hunger for brains. But Zombie Spider-Man looks so freaking dope, by the way. That's just, I would love to see that as an alternate costume in a Spider-Man video game one day. I need to see that, trust me. Alright, next honorable mention is House of M Spider-Man. So this was during the House of M storyline where Scarlet Witch changed reality into the House of M. And in this universe, Spider-Man pretends to disguise himself as a mutant. And for right now, that's as far as I know. But House of M Spider-Man, it really deserves an honorable mention, by the way. And the last honorable mention, people are gonna love this one, Spider-Gwen. I had to put this one on here because in the universe where Spider-Gwen was created, Peter Parker actually, I think he was the Lizard in that universe, and then he also died, so Gwen became the Spider-Woman, I should say, of her universe. But most people I call her Spider-Gwen. A lot of people call her Spider-Gwen. And I would love to see her in a video game or dare I say it, I wish she was in Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon. Dare I say it. But I would love to see a media adaptation of Spider-Gwen. So those were the honorable mentions. And the number 1 version of Spider-Man is Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker. I was going to use the original, the mainstream Peter Parker, but everyone knows his character, everyone knows who he is, so why not do the ultimate version of Peter Parker? Pretty much this version of Peter, he started out young, just like how his mainstream counterpart started. He was young, he was very witty, he had a lot of issues, a lot of things happened to him real fast in the Ultimate Spider-Man series. Of course, he had main storyline, Uncle Ben died. He becomes Spider-Man. Gwen dies, but not by falling off a bridge by the Green Goblin. She dies at the hands of Carnage in this universe. And plus, this Spider-Man goes through a lot of trauma. He goes through a lot of trials and tribulations. He becomes friends with the X-Men. He dates Kitty Pryde in the Ultimate Universe. He died in one of his his final issue, and then he came back, and then after that he went on a hunt to figure out how he came back, and after that he was never heard from again. But pretty much Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker, he is the equivalent to the mainstream Peter Parker, a little bit, because he's a lot more different than, of course, the mainstream Peter Parker. But I actually love it. I love his character design. I love how he evolves through each of his problems, and pretty much that's what all of these versions of Spider-Man go through. So that's the end of this top 10, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. In the comment section below, tell me who are your top 10 favorite alternate versions of Spider-Man. Trust me, this top 10 was not easy to do. Leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And until then, I am Vengeance. I am Darkness. I am Blackwing. Stay golden.